Oh, let's get ready to rumble! In this corner, coming out of Kentucky, none other than Rajon, playoff Rondo, and his opponent. Coming out of none other than Wake Forest, it's the point guard, CP3, Chris Paul. This round of championship boxing was brought to you by TNT, none other than Floyd Mayweather's The Money Team Productions. And this championship bout did not disappoint. It was so much better than that Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather Jr. fiasco that so many people pay their hard-earned money for. I feel sorry for you about that. But if you enjoy what we do, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, I guess in between rounds, so that you're notified every time there's a brand new video. I promise I won't put these hands on you because I'm not a hand thrower, but apparently Rajon Rondo is, and Chris Paul. Did you see the game? Did you see the match? Did you see the bout? Not only that, I'm crunk. Man, listen, you know who I am. You know what I do. You see the Laker banner right there. I am a lifelong Laker, but I root for these Houston Rockets whenever they're not playing the purple and gold, because I'm from Cleveland, Houston, Texas. So regardless of the final outcome and the score, I win. I'm winning more than Donald Trump these days, as he claims that he is. But man, did you see that? That was entertainment at its finest. High scoring, super competitive. And I'm gonna get down to the nitty gritty in a little bit. But did you? Brandon Ingram, that's my guy. I gotta go get a Brandon Ingram jersey. And just when I was like, oh man, I want Julius Randle. I mean, that would have been better for the team. Why did they let him go and get Rajon Rondo when we got Lonzo Ball? That he does the exact same thing, but he's younger and that much better. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, Rajon Rondo, he said, that's why I'm here. You know why I'm here. You know why I'm here. Because he's tough. Apparently he's tough. He stood up to Chris Paul. Ain't no huge dude. But man, he's like the president of the Players Association. He's stunned about it. He know this is nationally televised on ESPN. He said, hey man, we gonna develop some heart as a team. We ain't no punks. We ain't gonna be pushed around. We're not gonna let the refs just. I mean, you could tell it was building up throughout the game because of a bunch of those fouls that that Chris Paul was getting called on Rajon Rondo. You can hear him in the background. It was Bush. He was yelling at the refs. I'm surprised that they just let that go. I guess they realized these are some questionable calls that they were making. They made some good calls, but they made a bunch of questionable calls. I'm like, wow. And it's those questionable calls that riled up Brandon Ingram. He was mad too all through the game. He was getting some questionable calls. A couple of times he had his hands out, hand down, man down. And I don't, but James Harden, with the professional scorer that he is, he was just the swipe, the pull through. That's all he was doing, right through his arm. And they would call it. Those were good calls. A couple of times, like wow, when he came off the pick and Josh Hart. I mean, there was no contact. They just call it anything, But it was an exciting game, regardless of the bad calls, good calls. I loved it. I mean, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. That was fantastic, and I win regardless because I'm amped up. This is real. This is real enthusiasm because, man, I know some of y'all had to get up early in the morning, but man, if you stayed up to see the end of the game, it was a treat. It was a treat. The NBA is back and is in full effect, and if you don't know, man, out of the 4 top professional sports in the United States, basketball, the NBA, has got to be number 1. I mean, all the problems with the CTE and the injuries and the kneeling and Trump and all that. Hey, man, baseball is kind of hot right now, but it's just still lagging behind. And football is always going to have the masses because there's only 16 games in the season, so it's always going to be a little bit more like life or death with the fans for every single game and every single moment. But man, NBA just provides non-stop action. Y'all need to get in the game. It's in the game. EA Sports, little shout out to y'all. But listen, man, Usually I would talk about what we need to do. And like Brandon Ingram, he is known to be a mild-mannered guy. You know, they usually say mild-mannered when they talk about superheroes or their secret identities. But man, the frustration was building up through the entire game. You can see it after every call he was just pissed off, and after that, it just looked like old boy just ran into him and threw the shoulder up. I'm gonna force my way and they calling it. They are calling it. James Harden, he's a master at that, except in the playoffs. But either way, during the regular season, he's good. He got plenty of energy. He's doing that. He's getting those calls. He is getting those calls. He's forcing the referees to make a decision, and they're doing it in his favor. And he had enough. He had enough. He went complaining, talking about it's supposed to be and one, and he walked past him. I don't know if he said something to him. It didn't look like it, but I know Brandon Ingram had enough. He's like, hey, man, I'm laying it down back my flag. I'm throwing it down in the sand. I've had enough of this. We gonna stand up to these guys because we can play with them. We can play with them, and he pushed them off or whatever. Oh, they call a tech. Oh, okay, no problem. They pulled Brandon Ingram away. Okay, Lonzo Ball, like, come on, chill. Lance Stevenson, of all people, he's cool, calm. Listen, he's the calm one. He's the calm one. Man, matter of fact, before I continue on, Lance Stevenson been killing. He is playing. I wanted Lance Stevenson when he left the Pacers a few years ago. Before he went to Charlotte, I wanted to get him on the Lakers, but they were just in another mindset. I guess they just wanted to continue losing and let it be a farewell, for Kobe. But man, he has been playing his tail off, and I commend you for that. Good pickup, Magic Johnson. But he was the calm one. He led him away. He's like, no, we don't need that. I know how they like to discipline people. I know how they like to suspend people. We don't need to lose you for this game or any games during the season. Man, but then Rondo, he went stood in between. He's like, no, Chris Paul. He just chilling. I don't know if he was saying, it didn't look like he was saying anything, but people saying stuff, them slick remarks under their breath. He's sitting there chilling. Didn't look like he was being aggressive, but he might have been saying something. And Chris Paul apparently had enough because he was just standing real much too close to him. He was like, then hold up, like, hey, I guess he finally hit that nerve. He was triggered, but maybe triggered him. Maybe he put his finger on me, mashing him in his face like, yo, you don't get your. Oh, but listen. Oh, Rondo is not for play. He is not for play. He is not for that. He is for none of that. Oh, put his finger in his face, man, he swung. Man, they throwing hands to make them dance. And he threw them hands on him. He put them hands on immediately with no thoughts of the repercussion. He went stuff out, hit him flush in the jaw. Chris Paul was like, I did that in slow motion. Did you like that? He's like, after he got hit with that left hand, came with the left hand cross. I was like, ooh, it was rough. He might need a 10-second count. But he did that. Oh man, this was entertainment. I am in no way promoting violence of any sort or any kind. I'm glad no one actually got really hurt. But man, since it did happen and I had no control over it, I can tell you for what it is. And it was on the tube, so it was entertainment. It was entertainment. Man, Chris Paul actually came back after he got hit with that. You thought that was a sleeper move. No, sir. Like he said, they got grabbed and whatever. He actually got him. I don't know if he connected because somebody got in front of him, but he connected with something. There was like some impact there. Brandon Ingram, this guy, I can't say enough about this guy. This guy is out of line. He is out of line. I remember last year there was a ruckus of some sort, and Lonzo Ball didn't rush over to jump in between and stop the teammates. People were like, "Oh man, he's not part of the team. He's not for that nonsense." He's like, this ain't no boxing match. I'm not a boxer, bro. I'm not an MMA. I'm not UFC. I'm not in none of that." So they got on his case like, "Man, you're supposed to go into the fray." He walked away from it like you're supposed to do. He's the point guard of the team. That's how having a high basketball IQ, and then I want to get involved in that nonsense. So he was over there walking away when I guess talking to Brandon Ingram, trying to calm him down. But then when the fisticuffs and when the blows started going, they weren't holding on to Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram said, "Oh, I'm about that." He said, "I'm about that life. Catch me outside." He said, "You can catch me inside. You catch these hands, bro." You can catch these hands, bro. He went on all 6'9" and probably 7'2" reaching them hands. He ran from over there. And Lonzo Ball was like, oh man, what is you doing? What is you doing? And he's like, oh, I better run over there. I don't want them talking bad about me in the media. I gotta be a part of the team. So he ran over there into the frame. He wasn't throwing no hands, but he did a good job. Way to go. Way to protect your image and not to do anything stupid and get suspended. But man, Brandon Ingram ran over there. He was pissed. He was pissed. Yeah, he got that technical out to push an old boy. He was like, I wish a mother. Hey, y'all boy leave that boy alone. Y'all better leave that boy alone. You hear what I said? He's 6'9". He got probably length of like 7'5". But man, his arms just don't stop. Yeah, man, he can probably hug the whole team by himself. This guy's arms are so long. Listen, that was a fantastic game. If you can catch a replay of the game, I encourage you to do so because it was well worth the wait. Not only just because of the fight, but the game was excellent up until then. Everybody's been talking all that noise. Matter of fact, let me have a little rundown. Let me tell you why I'm feeling so good about this. Tell you why I'm feeling so good about it. Yeah, the Rockets won the game. The Rockets won the game. Listen, all you Rockets fans out there, y'all got some problems. Let me tell you why. You know what? You know why? You know why they lost? They lost to the Warriors last year? Not only because, because they just have a better team. But everybody thought that they could win at that Chris Paul. The reason he got injured because he was worn down. They didn't have anybody else to do anything. They're not really running any type of offense. Their offense depends on Chris Paul and James Harden scoring 30 points a game each. That's just not going to happen. It's not going to consistently happen, not when you play against the better teams. You live by the three, you're going to die by the three. They ran that man into the ground, and that's why Harden re-injured his hamstring. Running them down into the ground. Just trying to get everything they can. Like, we gave you the max, so we gonna get that. We're to the max. We gonna get this out of you. That's a problem going forward. And they killed the Lakers today. Chris Paul, James Harden, man, they was just on point. Him, Clint Capella, I think he had like 16 points, and Gerald Green off the bench. Those four guys. Everybody else on the Rockets was terrible. Okay, they were hot garbage. But those guys shot over 50%, and they were good. They were very good. James Harden, he wasn't that good because he had like five assists and had like 6 turnovers, and he's throwing the ball, just giving the ball away. Already, he's in mid-season playoff form right now, throwing the ball away. Same thing on the Lakers side, but it was actually in reverse. Everybody was pretty good. They were good. JaVale McGee killing. He's making the play to make the All-Star game. At the center position, no lie, no Shaq and the Fool, no none of that nonsense. He might even get not player of the year. Thinking what I mean, the NCAA. But now he might actually get defensive player of the year if what's his name, Anthony All-World Davis. If this guy slows down a little bit, if the Stifle Tower, if he slows down just a little bit, or if he gets injured or something like that, I'm not wishing any bad things on him. I'm just calling like it is. He is playing some hellified basketball for the Los Angeles Lakers. Man, and listen, and they were talking, we need to get some shooters or trade Lonzo. That boy just needs to play. That's why none of you motherfuckers are GMs, because you don't know what you're talking about. Everyone needs time to adjust. Everyone needs time to adjust. It was a fantastic game. Brandon Ingram was killing, but he only had like 8 shots. Why are you only taking like 8 shots? Man, Luke Walton, you've got to get better. And not only that, I said it before, I didn't want LeBron on the team. I didn't want LeBron. Of course, I'm rooting for him. I got to root for him. Got to root for him now because he's on the team. There's no opportunity, no alternative. But I did want him on the team because he comes in, he takes over, and then it's all about him instead of the team. Okay, and that's a problem. They had a good thing going. They just needed to build on that. I see he could come over there as long as he's like, I need the ball in my hands the whole entire time. If you want to come over here and score 30 points a game and just be a scoring machine, that would have been a perfect fit. Perfect fit for the Lakers. They should have kept Julius Randle and kept Lonzo at the starting spot and not got Rondo. Because, Lonzo Ball, he excels when he's passing the ball. So LeBron wanted to come over here and score 30 a game. He's going to get easy shots. Man, but either way, Lonzo Ball's the only one who can hit threes for the Lakers. He's the only one who can hit threes. Everybody else shot like 30%. LeBron James, he went like 1 for 7 from 3. Everybody talking about, oh, LeBron needs some shooters. He needs to learn how to shoot. See, you people are getting controlled by the media and led astray, run amok by all these presidents, all the headlines, all Trey Lonzo, they can't do anything. They might even make the playoffs when he just got him because of his daddy and all that other nonsense. I'm talking about the numbers. I'm not talking about likes and no likes. I'm not worried about his pockets. I'm not worried about his father. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm worried about production on the floor. And this guy right here shot 50% from the field. 50% from the field. That includes he went like 4 from 8 from 3. 4 from 8 from 3. The only one who was hitting threes on it. Did you hear what I said? Did you hear what I said? I think LeBron James went 1 for 7. I think he went 1 for 7 from 3. 1 for 7, the king. The king, 1 for 7. I'm not talking about anybody else. 1 for 7. I think the first game that they lost, he went like 0 for 4. So he's like 1 for 11 right now from three-point land. And we're talking about Lonzo Ball. Who just shot 50%. The only one who can hit threes today. Listen, man, give that guy some time. Let him get comfortable. Guys don't know what you're talking about. But listen. listen. With all that going on, yeah, the Rockets won. But other than that, LeBron James was trash. Not only could he not hit any threes, he went like 9 for 22. 9 for 22. 9 for 22. That's like 37, 38, maybe 39%. That's horrific. Not just for an average player, a regular player, a rotation player, a guy coming off the bench. He's supposed to be the greatest player. He's talking about, I'm trying to be the greatest, trying to get on that Mount Rushmore of basketball, trying to be the greatest player of all time. I'm not going to lie to him and give it to you straight with no chaser. He looked terrible today. He looked terrible the other day. That's why they lost. They need him to get buckets. He can't get buckets. He looks slow. He looks lethargic. He looks overweight. All the people chiming in talking about this guy's on the HGH or something. He don't look like he's on it right now. I know he's trying to work his way into the system. He wants to play more down low so he can bulk up a little bit. But man, he looks slow and very unathletic. For his standards, it is going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. I don't know, maybe he gets to mid-season form after he gets those random drug tests taken, then he's going to... Hey, I don't know what that guy does, but I know that usually during the season there's a change in his physical ability. Sometimes he goes from looking like crap and then he gets awesome. We need that awesome LeBron. We just need him to score buckets. That's all he needs to do. Shoot it anytime that you want to. You see at the end of the game, he dribbled like 15 times and he couldn't get to the hole and then passed it to somebody at the end. Looking like 2011 LeBron James against the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, it was terrible. Well, the game was good. The game was very good. It was outstanding. And I encourage you to look at the replay when they show it, because it was an instant classic. Probably the best game so far of the season. Right up there with with all the extra theatrics that went on with the Utah game against Golden State, man, because that went down to the buzzer, and that was also a classic. Man, the NBA is on fire right now. And so are you. So am I. I'm Ironman from the music group theLottory, Showtime Records. Let's get it, baby.